I don't feel like putting a mic on my kitchen table at the moment.
Right.
But it's good to know what the options are. And I think more and more people are streaming, and I think it's a cool thing. I think it's like, when WordPress came out and people started being able to make their own blogs, which are actually websites, and tons of themes and for free and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So is Artemis joining us today?
I don't know. She was in bed. I don't know if she's going to make it or not.
I sort of got the impression Geek Weekly's not her thing. She was hoping for the Star Trek weekly thing.
She'd probably be here. It's just it's been really busy and not getting enough sleep and stuff like that. So.
She's still working on her massage therapy license?
Yep.
Cool. Hello, Shulane. Do I know Shulane?
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
Yes, you sound loud and clear.
Cool.
Hey.
Are you in the UK?
Yeah.
No. Okay, so it's
probably guessed by my accent.
What accent? No, I'm always careful now because if I mess up the guess, I'm embarrassed. He said, I'm not from the UK, I'm from Australia. Or I'm not from Australia, I'm from China. I'm so sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah. A lot of people seem to be from the UK or America.
Well, the hours are closer, I think, in terms of where we're online together. Like for you, it's something like 5 or 6 p.m., I think.
Yeah.
And I used to work a lot with a client he operated off of Irish time. Although, to be quite honest, he was rarely in Ireland. He was an airline pilot, but anyway, he was Irish for sure.
Yeah, we're in British summertime at the moment. It's a bit weird over here. We change our hours once a year.
Well, it must be twice a year. Once.
Oh yeah.
And it's 2 weeks out of sync with the U.S., which always messed us up because we would have to schedule our events and remember, okay, wait a minute, it's 1 hour different now for the folks in Ireland and the UK, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later it was all good again, which that didn't hurt too much for the the music and DJ events, but if I was scheduling meetings, it's to make my eyes cross.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, I like your Abby. I like the glowing cyber circuitry.
Yeah, it doesn't work right here because there's no what do you call them? Reflection probes.
Yeah. Yeah, I still got lots of work to do on this place and zero time.
Yeah, I noticed the rain's gone as well. I like the rain.
Yeah, I gotta change that back. People wanted it bright for the summer thing, so I made it really bright.
Although
sunshine.
You couldn't actually see rain. You had to look in the puddles. It was in the puddles you could see rain. I see.
Oh.
Yeah, it's quite cool though. Still looks cool here though, even without rain.
Yep.
So
last time I was in Europe, they were talking about stopping the daylight savings time. As far as I know, they were going forward with that. Was Britain doing the same thing, or?
Yeah, I don't know when. It really annoys me because yeah, it just does my head in. I did it it's for farmers, isn't it? It's for cow farmers. That's the whole reason daylight saving exists.
Yeah.
But winter does my head in full stop though, as the hours get shorter.
Did you make that avatar then?
No, I wrote the shader that you're seeing it change color. I wrote that, but uh, the actual avatar was a freebie that was for I think believe it was from Maya. But it wasn't as easy as that. I couldn't just grab the Maya model and chuck it into SynSpace and it all worked. It was extremely hard actually. I had to take the model apart in Maya to get rid of all the rigging and everything that was attached to it in Maya, so to make it back to a blank model and then re-rig it.
Let me rephrase my question. Did you upload this avatar, and is it unique?
Yeah, no, it is unique. I just didn't make the model bit, but I say that because I make models as well. So I like to be honest with my work, and you know I know lots of people upload stuff that and put their name to it, and they didn't even make it. Which so I'm quite transparent. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I have actually got anything model-wise that I made at the moment actually inside SynSpace.
Now, what tool would you make the model with?
Blender.
Blender, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
like the avatar I'm wearing is from Les, and I asked him, how did you do that? And he went, blah, 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 blah. But what I picked up from that was that there was an existing anime model that he was then able to blah, 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 and custom dress and all that. And I said, cool. And I actually followed what he said, but I didn't record it. I should have recorded it. But
I've done it with a few. I mean, have you ever seen the Adam avatar from the Adam movie, Unity?
I have not.
It's going to take a while to load because it's 200 megabytes and not even supposed to have this, but because I'm good and I don't just bung it on at any time.
Are we talking about our Adam from Sine Wave Entertainment, or
No, I'm
No, okay,
running
got
it
it.
now. It's going to take a while before you can see me.
Oh my God, you're going to load it now, and Localhost shudders to its foundations digitally.
Yeah. It's not even loaded for me. It's at 70%.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing the
see
blue
it now.
line, shader line.
Cool.
What do they call those shader lines when you're like doing rough sketching and you just kind of draw your pencil up onto the right, like that? Oh, there you are. Now I see you. Whoa,
I can't see me.
Oh,
Oh, that's it. There you go.
Okay,
That's
that's
probably
weird.
one of the best avatars in SynSpace at the moment. The thing I love about it the most is all the cables in the back of my neck. You zoom in on that.
Well, I am zooming in. Stop moving. Oh, I should have just viewed Avatar, but I'm. Yeah, that's really.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's your backbone. And I see
Wow.
just where to clip the red wire, and you'll fall over.
But yeah, that's just on the Unity store for free. Obviously, you've got to follow the tutorials and stuff to get it into SynSpace. But yeah, that model is free on Unity Market Asset Store,
That's awesome.
and some other models from the Adam movies as well. If you just type in Adam on the Asset Store, you'll find them and find links to the other ones as well.
Now, do you create in other platforms or mostly SynSpace, as you say?
Well, I started with Second Life, so I've got
So two of them. Okay.
and
Are you-
Sansa,
And Sansar. All right, that's three. Now you're tri-literate.
and I do it for all. The only ones I'm not interested in, even though I do like how it works, is VR chat. But the problem with VR chat is it's just full of people ripping everybody's content, which is no security, and all your content can be stolen, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I won't touch it.
I am not familiar with VR chat. I may have heard it, but
It's on Steam. You just go on
Okay.
Steam and get it, and it's just like SynSpace. It runs on Unity engine, the same.
When,
I
when
don't.
something says chat, I always think of IMVU level.
No,
In other words,
it's the same quality, I think, as SimSpace. Although I haven't been in there a lot.
but so it's not just a dating platform. It's actually creator and muck about and do stuff like have events or build things or.
Yeah, I think they had an event on. Everybody's been doing events. I think they had an event on uh, recently. I think that's where they had the Jean-Michel Jarre event. It was VR chat, really.
Hello, Dixie. Which kind of show? Shoe?
Jean-Michel Jarre. He's around from the 80s, 90s. That um, uh, what do you call it? He's a musician, but it's no singing. What do you call it when it's just instrumental music he
Okay,
plays
cool.
with all amazing laser light shows and that? He's just done a concert in VR chat.
Nice.
But they're all doing it at the moment. I mean, I don't know if you've seen in the Discord, but that Burning Man is
Oh yeah.
going to be on 10 different VR platforms.
Yeah, it's on Somnium Space. I was looking there with a group. I have a little explorer group that I meet with once a month that meets every month in a different place and explores it. I guess that's what I just said. But yeah, we were there. But Burning Man was done in Second Life ages ago. So
Yeah, it's in Second Life this time as well, isn't it? I think.
I still have a Burning Woman avatar in Second Life that I love. It's just I wear a straight black skin and flames, except they use asymmetric flames on the like left arm and right leg and something else. And then to make the silhouette look great, I put on um, fuck me heels and long hair, and all black, and then you just see the black silhouette like some teaser for some show, and it's cool. And then you dance. Hey Dixie, assuming you can hear. So yeah. So do you have anything in the shop, Shulaine?
No, not at the moment. I got lots of unfinished projects, and if you're ever in the Discord, you often see that I'm working on things that sort of no one else is really, and yeah, just been learning loads of what I can do in Unity and SynSpace for about 2 or 3 years now. I'm going to put it
Cool.
all together one day into something. But what I'm actually working on right now is using my real photographs of my face to create a skin and avatar.
Oh,
Process
nice.
of process of doing it at the moment, and I've got fairly good results. I just haven't put it into SynSpace yet, but the photographs of creating the shape of my face as well, which is it's weird. You can quite easily put a photograph onto a skin, and it just won't look right. It won't look nothing like you when it's on the
Right.
avatar if the shape's not right as well. A lot of how you look is to do with the shape of you.
What are you doing the shape with? Blender again?
Daz.
Daz, D-A-Z. Now, is that a tool? I always think of it as a
Daz
company.
is, Daz is for making well they've got a few bits of software. They've got a bit of software called Hexagon, which is actually for creating avatars and avatar items and stuff like that. And then they've got actual Daz, which is for playing with those and molding them, and changing shape keys and putting stuff on them and changing their skin and rendering, creating scenes even.
So is that Daz 3D Studio or something? Is that what that
Yeah,
is?
yeah,
Okay.
and it's free as well. And they've actually got a plugin in there. It's called Face Transfer, and you can just use one photograph of your face and make it into a skin. But it's a little bit harder to get it into SynSpace.
Now,
But
Daz focuses on what, on 3D? How would you distinguish Daz and Blender? Are they the same or different, or how?
Daz's other program, Hexagon's more like Blender. for making stuff. Daz is more like, I'd say more like Unity. It's for creating scenes. A lot of people don't use those avatars in games and create a scene and photograph it and or take screenshots.
Got it. So Hexagon is like Blender, and Daz is like Unity.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, I appreciate you've
But
probably
also,
just about tripled my knowledge since the beginning of this year, to be honest, learning about the tools people use to make stuff here. Because
but
my
also,
total experience was in Second Life using the in-world build stuff.
oh right. Yeah, no, that's how I started with 3D stuff was Second Life and the in-world tools, and then moved on to Blender. But Daz, if you want to know more about Daz, have a look on SynSpace Marketplace and just type in Daz. Daz are partnered with SynSpace, so a lot of the
Yeah,
Daz
but I don't
avatars are
get.
on the market.
Yeah, but I don't know how they made it. To me, Daz was a brand name. I see Daz on renderosity.com all over the place, for example, which
Daz is the washing powder over here.
yeah,
Yeah, we got a washing powder called Daz in the UK.
yeah. So,
But
kind of like, and there's so many things built with Unity. So here's another question. I don't know if make your living or, make pin money, as they say, with your modeling work. But I'm interested in learning this because I work with 20-something olds. I teach twice a year for a Dublin college online. Team building is what I teach, but they're typically majors in graphic design and visual design and stuff. And my idea is, if they learn some of these modeling tools that can feed more than one platform, then that would be a nice way for them to get gigs and make money, either part-time or, full-time. Do you feel like what you've learned about 3D you could use with more than one platform, or do you
yeah,
feel
yeah,
that?
definitely. I mean, my plan is, in fact, everything that I'm kind of making or will be from this sort of point. As soon as I've done this skin thing, the reason I'm making this skin is because I wanted something to model other items I'm going to be making, and it can't be a robot or my normal Zulan. It's got to be a human. So,
Cool.
but yeah, from this point onwards, everything I make is going to be primarily for Turbo Squid and CG Trader at their online markets, just for models, not for virtual worlds and stuff. But then everything will also be coming into SynSpace and other virtual worlds as well, because obviously that's even more money you're making on top of that.
Do you feel it would be, if I were advising a 20-something, would you recommend I tell them they should market to you just saw VR Trade or something, like kind of a central clearinghouse of models, and or sign up for SynSpace, sign up for Second Life, and put stuff on your own markets there, or do both? I mean,
Well, if you target somewhere like virtual worlds and stuff, it's a little easier to learn your trade because you're always doing game development. You're always making it for a game. Whereas when you're doing it onto CG Trader or Turbo Squid, they want both types of models. So they want stuff that's for games, low poly and everything, and they want high poly for CGI for adverts and things like that, and actual movies, real, like Spider-Man and Apple. I mean, every advert you see on telly these days, you're looking at it and you're seeing this water splashing around and a mobile phone and a car driving past. None of it's real. All of it is CGI these days. I'd say 95% of it is CGI these days.
now, am I naive, or can you not, if you're the creator and knows how to use the model tools, can you not create different levels of poly complexity and still
Yeah.
feed?
when you're doing it for movies and stuff, you do what's called a rendering process, where depending on how much power you've got, is how long it takes. But the final movie, it's all done in a sort of preview version without all the textures and all that, while you're doing the animation, and then when you do the final rendering, that's what makes it all look real. Here's an example. I've got a £2 computer, and a 15-second water clip will take my computer half an hour to render it. But once it's rendered, it can be played at real time. And it's because I've done a load of water simulation stuff in Houdini, playing around with it.
Cool.
And yeah, it's just amazing what you can do these days. It's just how much power of got, how fast you can do it. Well, I don't do a lot of it because it just once you set it off doing the rendering, you just can't use your computer anymore.
Yeah, go have lunch. Go have lunch and dinner.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to render a 5-minute movie, it's going to take your computer a couple of days to do it. Even a £2 computer.
Hey, Carson, interrupt any time. I'm having a blast talking to Shoelane, but I have another topic for Shoe if you're still gathering people. Otherwise, just let us go.
I was actually interested in some of the stuff that was on the thing. I've been meaning to come to this for ages. I did speak to.
Well, cool. Have a seat.
Yeah.
And Carson will let us on.
Yeah, some of the stuff you put in the what's it, events looks interesting. I was interested in that cold tube stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we all kind of know each other here, so just kind of.
No, do the intros. Do the intros.
Just get comfortable.
Yeah. Are you sitting, Shoelane? I still see you standing. I'm just.
Oh, yes, yeah, I'm sitting. That problem still exists. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, there's. You're talking about rendering, and I was thinking about this. I don't remember which renderer that was, but I used to set up all the computers in my office on this render network. So then I'd start the render, and it would start utilizing all the different computers in the office. Back when I worked at my old place, and I'd set off a render, and it would go pretty quick. But later on, like around lunch, one of the other workers would come in, like, "Did you do a render today? Because man, my computer slowed down pretty bad for a while." Like,
yeah, I think there's some free render farms for Blender, but yeah, for I've forgotten what it's called actually. But yeah, you just get a plug-in for Blender and start rendering stuff through a render farm for free, or paid ones as well. But I've never really needed it for Blender. It's more for things like Houdini, when you actually want that power to do the simulation as well, and not just the rendering.
oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's even the simulation burns your computer to pieces. It's I mean, you've got millions and millions of particles on the screen. That's how the simulations work. They do it all in particles, and then the rendering makes it look like real water and real white water and stuff. But yeah, that's first. It's all particles, and yeah, you can have like 40 million particles on the screen.
Well, so let's get started. It's 22 after. So welcome everyone to this week's Geek Weekly meetup. Full of Geek Weekly and Science Space to connect people who share interests in all things geeky and to build a community around that here at Localhost. Feel free to join the discussion in voice as well as in chat. If you'd like to be involved here in the community, feel free to chat with me after the meeting. We also have a website where we post the Geek Weekly review, post a calendar, and link to our Discord server. And that's localhostconnection.com. As things grow here, we'll also expand our website with additional information and functionality. The agenda for today's meetup includes some introductions, discussion of some interesting news articles, State of the Viewer, State of Science Space, Geek Trivia, Show and Tell, Future Events, and some general conversation. So, start off, we'll go around the room and say some introductions. You can say in voice or in chat, whatever you're comfortable with sharing with us. Or in voice, maybe your science-based name so we know who's talking. Geographic location, and if you had intro music, what song would it be and why? Totally forgot to think about that one, so I'm not sure what my song would. Anyways, I'm Karsten Stark. I'm in Washington State. And a song. I'll have to think about that one. Sidearm, do you got one?
Well, I have something I call the sidearm theme that I could hum, but it's a it's a weird musical theme. But I would use that. I've been composing in that. Actually, that's my thing. Is I've been working on that a lot. That's my new stream series. Is composing in full media, using music with custom scales and music animation, and then I have to start writing words to go with it. So I'm Sidearm, and I am in Katy, Texas, Katy, and that's just west of. It's in the General Houston area, and that's it.
I think I might know a song. Leonard Skinner's "Simple Man." That would probably be it. Let's see, Dixie Chick. Welcome. Do you have voice yet?
Yes, I do. I changed viewers and boom, voice works.
Ah.
Go for it. Yeah, I'm South Texas. I'm geeking out right now on everything electronic. It seems like I'm trying to smartify my house. And it's really proving difficult because my internet can only stand 38 by. Well, I'm trying to figure that out. And I guess my theme song would be Philosophy by Ben Folds. Yeah. There you
go. Cool. Now we just added some more smart bulbs and it's here. And I was trying to get this one to work for I don't know how long, maybe half an hour, and then it just wasn't working. And finally, I pulled it out and looked at it, and somebody had taken one of the dumb bulbs and swapped it into the smart bulb box. Probably, I'm guessing, so they could buy the smart bulb for cheaper.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, so that was frustrating. So I had to make another run to Home Depot and swap out the bulb. Yeah. So, Inquisitive Loon, welcome.
I am Inquisitive Loon visiting from the planet Zort. Greetings.
Greetings. Welcome to Earth.
Thank you. It's been an experience.
And welcome, Elaine.
Hey. Yeah, I'm Zulin from the UK. And my tune, I don't know. I was looking at it, and the only one I can think of is Ride of the Valkyries.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love. I used to play a game, Battlefield, one of the early ones, Battlefield Vietnam, and you could turn that on in the helicopter, so everybody could actually hear when other players could see the helicopter in distance. They could actually hear the music, whatever you put on. You had about 10 tracks you could, and yeah, obviously it comes from tips now. Well, it doesn't, but that's where everyone knows it from.
Awesome.
I'm
LT Drake
also,
standing. Oh,
I
go
was going
ahead.
to say, you'll also be able to. I'm supposed to be the guest on office hours in a couple of weeks, so you'd be able to. I don't know what I'm going to say there, but probably hear more about what I do there.
Cool. LT Drake standing over there is just our. So
Yeah, if you have a want for the office hours thing, if you get called on to speak at office hours, we can always get with you the day before or a couple of days before and go over, some ideas of what you might expect. We don't want you to have to go in blind.
Yeah, no, I've got to talk to staff anyway, because one of the things I wouldn't mind talking about, I'm actually under an NDA not to talk about it at the moment, and I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to talk about it by then, but who knows?
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I have to see.
We never talk about. Well, we try to never talk about NDA stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely get with Les or Jay about that, and or or whoever you need to find out if you can talk about it. Go.
cool. So welcome everybody. We'll dive into some interesting news. And up first, we have some AI tech that wants to make you an avatar that will work in every game.
yeah, that sounds interesting.
So it sounds like they're kind of offering a service, and pretty much anybody with an avatar in their game can sign up to have that implemented. But it's interesting. It just takes a picture of you and then creates the avatar.
That sounds a bit like what I'm doing. It
I
does.
joined. I don't know when. About a month or so ago, it's a new game that's coming out. It's kind of lame because it's brand new. There's nothing there, so they're like alpha mode. But yeah, it'll take your picture and that's your avatar. And I'm like, I'm one of these. I kind of get away from real life in a game, so I don't mind looking like a cartoon.
Right.
Some
I
people
think
do look like themselves, so I thought it was kind of cool.
I think Facebook's working on it as well. They want to have that feature, be able to just get on your cam or chuck a photograph and an avatar just dated all.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came up in my mind. Was a lot of people don't really want to look like themselves. They want to jump into a fictional reality and be whatever they want to be.
I mean, in my case, this fat little round chick with no hair. I mean, it's kind of boring.
There's another way to look at it, which is I would guess, not knowing any better, 50-50. 50% of people want to look like their real life body and 50% want to look different. And in either case, they're wanting to express themselves, like the song goes, express yourself. Over.
Exactly. I mean, like, I'm a cancer survivor, so I'm still growing my hair back and stuff. But, whenever I wear a wig, it's always a bright pink or a bright purple or a mixture of the both. And, it's just a way to express myself in real life. But yeah, in games, I mean, I've got different colored hair in every game. So it's kind of like, okie dokie.
Yeah, usually like my avatars, I typically try to make it look semi like me, but there's usually limitations on
Yeah, I'm working on making one that looks really like me, hopefully. But as close as I can get it, you just can't. I mean, even leading titles, game titles. I mean, for example, Codemasters Formula One. You know, they've been working on that years, but when their avatars are such of the drivers, they're just not. They're not close. Yeah, it's very hard to do, isn't it? Get something that's really human-like.
Yeah.
The other thing, in addition to whether it looks human or anime or cyber or furry or whatever, is just being able to look different, I think, is becoming more obviously critical. When I go to Virbella, um, they have I haven't calculated the exact number, but you could be male or female, casual or business, um, swimsuit, three kind of varieties of clothing, a little bit of color changes, a little bit of shoe changes for both male and female. Then facial hair, beard, no beard, hair, no hair, blonde, red. But even if you multiply those all out, you're only talking about 100 to 200, if that many variations. And it is a shock to go in there, especially if there's 30 or more people in a meeting, how many of them look like you or like each other. And that's jarring,
Yeah.
especially if you started to invest yourself in how you look as an avatar. And I don't blame Verbella for doing that. I mean, I think they're doing great. They're taking off like gangbusters. And one reason is they tried not to be everything to everyone. In the end, though, the more people that are together at one event, the more critical it is, I think. So look at Dixie with her magenta cyan hair and Lan with your red and blue. Both of you have red and blue, but I don't think you look the least bit alike. And Inquisitive over there with his glowing t-shirt. So I guess my point is being able to look different, like they used to say growing up in the 60s, I want to be different like everyone else.
Did you guys ever see or play the game LA? Never say that word. No, noir. LA Noir. The avatars in there, they're of the NPCs and stuff. They use like a video sequencing for their faces and whatnot. They look pretty realistic. They also use that for the interrogations because you're playing the role of a police officer. Like,
I'd like to see avatars that their hair actually grew, so you could grow a beard. You could
that'd be
join a
interesting.
virtual world, yeah, and your avatar could grow a beard or grow your hair longer, just for how long you were in there for, you know. But I've wanted to see it in actual survival games like DayZ. It'd be cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'd be
But
interesting.
it doesn't exist anywhere, I don't think, at the moment. And it's easily doable.
Yeah. Well, another interesting bit of news is that Dual Universe has entered open beta. And I don't know if you're familiar with Dual Universe, but that was it was a big open world MMO that sci-fi, space-based, where you can go colonize planets, stake a claim to some land and build whatever you want. That's basically was the premise of the game, was do whatever you want. So it's almost like a virtual world with a sci-fi setting, but everything it's one single shared server, so there's no shards or anything like that. So it's a pretty interesting.
From what you've read of it, I'm just glancing, does it force you to duel and battle each other, or can you just go off and colonize stuff and and be cooperative with other players, not have to fight them like World of Warcraft or something.
That's something I'm not sure on. If the entire world is PvP or if there's like safe zones or what. I'm guessing it's kind of a free for all.
Yeah. See, I would call that a, well, it's just, I haven't got all the words straight, but I love Witcher 3 and I love Dragon Age Inquisition, but only to watch really good players play. And I've watched the whole playthrough of both of those. And they're open world, quote unquote, because you can run around and do side quests. But sooner or later, you're going to run into a zombie or a dragon or a jerk that's going to kill you unless you spend a lot of time honing your combat skills. And that's not the skill I want to hone, you know? And I used to play city builder games like Sim City, and I like Zeus and Poseidon and Children of the Nile. And that's what got me into Second Life and all that. Now, Second Life, of course, there is no game-driven thing, which really confuses the hell out of people. So one reason I came looking at, I'm going to keep using Shulane's pronunciation, Sin Space. I love it. It's Sin Space, yes. Not Sign Space, but Sin Space, is that it also, you don't have to combat each other just to do something interesting here. I guess, I mean, combat is interesting. I get it, but I want a different kind of challenge and struggle. End of rant, over.
The Minecraft has a creative mode, as an example, and that means you can't get killed. If you're not in creative mode, you can. I wonder if this will have the same.
Yeah, and Eve has security levels in different regions. So you can go into high security regions or low security regions. Don't know if any of you have played Eve.
No, never heard of it.
Well, Eve Online. It's a really good game. You used to have to subscribe to it a bit like this dual universe, but now you can play it for free as well.
Good. Thank you.
I think some of the stuff with dual universes that they're saying that the PvP is going to be rather difficult and expensive. So I think that's their way of trying to keep people from just randomly going around killing people.
Dual universe is the one that's it's kind of blocky, isn't it? You can build your spaceships, but out of sort of cubey shaped things. A bit like Minecraft in a way,
Yeah,
but better.
I think so. I think you get other shapes and stuff as well.
Yeah,
And of
yeah.
course
You get modules, don't you? So you get like a window
Yeah.
module or something. Yeah, no, it looks good. I first looked at it and registered with them. It's got to have been 2 or 3 years ago now. I think.
Yeah.
I first
Yeah,
saw
when they
it.
first announced it, I didn't think it was going to make it. I figured it would have folded before it got to open beta.
Look at Star Citizen. God, that's still going. Hasn't folded, and it hasn't even got one level yet. And they've just taken so many people. People
Yeah,
just give money for ages. I used to have a Star Citizen account, and they actually banned it. They banned my account, and for no reason at all. And they wouldn't give me a reason. And they went against their what's it, the TOS, their terms of whatever, themselves, by not actually giving me a reason why they banned my account. I think my account was hacked because they had their database hacked, and loads of people had their accounts hacked, and they're blaming the people owned the rather than the stolen.
wow.
Yeah. But yeah, look at that game. It's amazing. It is really good. I mean, you can just land on planets, and it's really like landing on a planet. It takes ages to come down, and yeah, and just go into. I mean, I got a city there. get to where you want to, you have to go and get on a train or something, a tube, to to go off to the places you want. But yeah, it just goes to show you they've been ripping people off for years. They've done that to loads of people. Loads of people have lost their accounts and they don't know why or whatever, and they've just given up because they seem to get away with anything. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Something interesting about Dual Universe that I was watching a stream where some guys were talking about it as they're playing around in it and stuff, and one of them compared it to Second Life because you have these planets you can go stake a claim to land, and so you have parcels all over the place, and they were joking around saying that they're wondering if it's going to turn out like Second Life mainland, where you're going to have like your neighbors building a giant male appendage over there, and like all this craziness, just this big jumbled mess of, because not everybody's an expert builder, and so they're wondering what the mainland, the planets are going to look like once everybody's claimed land and started building stuff.
Yeah, I played a game recently. It's the same sort of thing. Example, I forgot that's what it's called. Because I don't even know Epic Games. If you've got the Epic Games launcher for Unreal and stuff like that, they also give away free top titles every week. In fact, the latest one they gave away was Hitman. Released in March. Good. But yeah, I was playing a game on there recently. It's called Ark Survival Dinosaur. Every single server you go to, it's just people's trash is just everywhere. Some places you can't even walk through the land because people just built walls across.
Jeez.
Yeah, I hate that. And yeah, Second Life is the prime example of that. That's where I first ever saw it. Really annoying because I like everything to look nice.
Yep.
Good.
Well, another bit of news is that physicists may have found a way to create traversable wormholes. And I think it's a little bit clickbaity because, yeah, though they've figured out how to do it on paper, there's like some major roadblocks that they're like, yeah, we're probably never going to be able to do this. But it's an interesting read, anyways, just because of the science behind it, how they figured out how that it might be a possibility. But I think it basically revolves around negative energy.
Interesting. I wouldn't mind a wormhole or teleporter. We're getting closer to what are they called? Those machines that make things. Replicators, yeah. We're getting closer to replicators with 3D printers. It's funny
Yeah.
how much science fiction becomes real. I mean, just look at tablets and stuff and look at the tablets on Star Trek from the 1970s. They're like bricks compared with what actually exists now. Yeah.
The previous civilization. It's interesting how that's a running theme in science fiction. There was this super advanced race of aliens or humans way back when, and now we're like finding all abandoned tech. So here's another bit of news. If you're into fusion power, there's a fusion power breakthrough. There's a new method for eliminating damaging heat bursts in toroidal talc.
Sounds good. But yeah, I haven't got a clue what that means.
Maybe it'll lead to possibly better power sources for us. But the way I understood it was fusion power was pretty limited in its output because you'd get these heat spikes that were uncontrollable and unpredictable. But they figured out a way to
There have
compensate for
been
them.
several articles I see once a month or so about research on the fusion, and the importance to me is portable power, like spacecraft and moon bases and things
Yeah.
like that. An interesting thing, for some reason a year or two ago, it suddenly occurred to me that a nuclear submarine is the equivalent of a spaceship.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's entirely self-contained, and vice versa. And they, of course, use the reactors to be able to stay at sea for months at a time, barring human factors like going bonkers in a tiny space with no women or children around, or no men and children around, depending on who you are. Over.
Last but not least, we got this cold tube invented to beat the summer heat more efficiently than air conditioning. And I thought this was interesting, especially coming from a construction. Well, that's what I do. I have a construction company. But I've seen these, radiant heat panels that make you feel warm without heating up the air. And now they've got a similar thing with these cold tubes, where you can basically make these panels that'll make you feel cool without cooling the air. So because you're not trying to cool the air, it's like this massive energy savings. It could be air temperature could still be pretty high in your building, and but you'll feel cool. They're talking about you can also use these outdoors, like in bus stops and things like that. So if you're out there in the middle of the Nevada desert at a bus stop, it's over 110 degrees. You could be sitting next to this cold tube and be feeling comfortable.
Okay, so that triggers two thoughts. One is I was watching a presentation on the history of Houston, and somewhere 1940, 1950, 1960, somewhere in there, the first air-conditioned building in the city of Houston opened, and it was a theater, movie theater. And boy, did crowds line up. It didn't matter what the movie was that was playing. They went there to experience the awe and wonder of air conditioning. And if you've ever been in the Houston area, you know why, or any hot and humid area. Yeah. I forget what the second thought was. Over.
Something that I thought was interesting about this cold tube technology, though, that they had to solve was typically when you have a cold object in a humid, warm, moist room, it tends to condensate, and you get water running, on the surface of whatever the cold object is. And they've solved that by creating some kind of coating that goes on this that prevents the moisture from setting on the surface. So I thought that was interesting, because I was thinking, oh my gosh, what are they going to do with all this runoff? Have a condensate tube or something, but they don't deal with any of that.
One of the biggest energy savers in a refinery where I worked at Exxon, we had to do team studies in there, and I forget what it's called, regen or recycle, but they actually do take the heat from one area and cycle it around and use it to generate electricity and things. It's a major efficiency factor in keeping the overall cost of running things and the overall impact on the environment down. Over.
Yeah, I could almost see doing a house with the radiant floors and these cold tube panels in the ceiling, so you get the cold in the summer and the heat in the winter. It'd be nice. You'd always be comfortable. So next up, we got the state of the viewer and state of science space, and that's unchanged from last week. We're still on 2B59 for staging and preview, and live viewer at 1B44. So there's links for the downloads if anybody's interested. Things have been pretty quiet on that front for a little while. Although there's lots of new editor packs. Let's see if anybody's up for some trivia. I've got some trivia here. So 1980s video games. What vehicular combat game used the theme music from the show Peter? Crickets. I'm gonna have to make a HUD that plays cricket sounds when I click a button. So that would be Spy Hunter. Seems well drive. Let's see. So in the Lord of the Rings, where geographically speaking was Frodo stabbed?
In right top of his left top chest. I just watched this and I bet I got it wrong. I literally watched this yesterday.
Let's see. So geographically, like what part of the world were they located in?
Oh, 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 I don't know now. I know what you're talking about. Those that is one of those the 9 riders that stabs him though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. And I have just watched. I watched all three of them, and the second and third part of The Hobbit for some reason last week. But I was away. I wasn't at my main computer, so I was bored.
It's been a while since I watched those too.
Okay, I have a trivia question. So the question is, oh good, on Weathertop, nice. I'm composing a 2000 game. Kate, a covert operative for British-based counterterrorism organization Unity, is the main character in what 2002 game? You can Google it if you want. But I love the fact that it's Unity. I'd forgotten it was Unity. Ready? The operative, no one lives forever. Another one of those games where I didn't play it, but I watched a good player play it. In this case, it was my son.
Let's see. In Star Trek: The Original Series, Vulcans undergo what process every 7 years?
Don't know the name of it. I know what it is, but I don't know the name of it.
Futurist got it. The Ponfar.
That's it.
Jamie, yep. Yeah. Sidearm. Mating. Yes, that's the simple term.
Well, between the two of them, Futurist and Jamie spelled it correctly.
Let's see. Two people with the same name. What is the name? Okay, so the author of Mouse on a Motorcycle and Picard's Doctor. Or I guess the Doctor on Starship Enterprise and Next Generation. Yeah, Beverly. It's Beverly Cleary and Beverly Crusher. So in classic board games, as of 2013, how many pawns do players have in Sorry? It's not 5. They went the other direction. Yeah, 3. Originally there were 4. I had no idea that they changed it to 3. I'm curious why they did that. So in mathematics, using standard orders of operations, what's the last operation you perform on an equation? Yep, addition and subtraction. Got it. And in Star Wars, A New Hope, in the initial draft of the script, what was Luke Skywalker's name? And I did not know this, and I thought it was really funny. Jerome. Lunatic. None of those. Apparently, they wanted to call him Luke Starkiller. Like, why Starkiller? Like, he's not a Starkiller.
Yeah, I was trying to think of first names as well, not last names.
Let's see. 1950s sci-fi movies. It Came from Outer Space is based on a story by what sci-fi author? Came from Outer Space. It's not Harlan Ellison. It's not Isaac Asimov. Gene Roddenberry. This one would be Ray Bradbury. Spock. And the last one is physics. What field of physics, formerly known as solid-state physics, describes the way atoms and molecules connect in both solids and liquids? It's not plasma. And I had no idea on this one either. So. Unity physics. Almost. So that's condensed matter physics. Warp drive mechanics. All right. And we're past past the top of the hour now, so can go ahead and officially end the meeting. But if anybody wants to stay and hang out some more, we feel free to do some show and tell if anybody's working on anything or has something real world or virtual, and any cool places you've discovered here in Science Space. Something that Artemis and I have been doing. We've been, getting feverishly getting things ready for her parents visiting and getting things ready for the wedding and everything, and getting the guest room all set up. And we've turned the guest room into a medieval guest room, and it looks amazing. I might have to post some pictures on Facebook here soon. Artemis has done an incredible job on it.
I cannot understand why you Earthlings marry. I've never seen this on any other planet. It's such a strange custom.
I don't know. The last time I did it turned out pretty well, and I only did it for tax purposes.
That still doesn't make any sense.
How do Zordians reproduce?
We do not reproduce. We're the same amount of people all the time.
Where did the Zordian first come from?
We have always existed. There's never been a time when we weren't around.
Well, you've answered your own question.
That's why it doesn't make any sense to me.
One other side note is I don't know exactly how many more Geek Weeklies I'll be doing before we take our break. It might be one more week or 2 more weeks. I'm not sure. Just depends on when people are going to be around here. I probably will be doing 2 more weeks, but we'll see on that. So if anybody wants to do some hosting of Geek Weekly, feel free to hit me up and can get you set up on that stuff.
Well, I was sort of hoping AJ would, but she's out for the count at the moment. So I think you should just take a well-deserved break, and we'll all jump up and cheer when you guys come back and hear all your stories.
Yeah, I might have some adventures to share. We're planning on taking off on the motorcycle after the wedding and just exploring and camping and staying wherever we feel like it. We'll see.
Honestly, I'd like to volunteer or nominate Sidearm to host Geek Weekly. Just saying. Yeah, nobody laughed, but he didn't say no either.
Jamie's got a new event this week. Cool. So Jamie's gonna do a roleplay workshop on Tuesday nights. That'll be fun.
Yeah, Dixie, you work your butt off. You're doing great. Just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, Jamie, I saw that. I was looking at the calendar list, and I remember that came up at your end of the week chat about role play. And just as Inquisitive said, what is role play? So off you go. What?
I do have a little bit of an announcement that just came across my desk. I am going to be taking Thursdays off starting September. Oh Lord, I lost it. 17th. Because I have chemotherapy on those days and my doctor back now that COVID is. Yeah. I get to go sit in a chair. Yay.
You're breaking up, Dixie. I can't hear you. Can you repeat that, please?
She's going to be away on Thursdays in about 2 weeks. That's all she said.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Looking at the calendar, I see there's a one Thursday event. So I guess you picked your day carefully there, Dixie. Anyway, like Future said, best wishes and hang in there.
Yep, I did. That was on purpose.
Inquisitive, if you look at community, first button at the bottom, and then events, you'll see that Jamie's new RP workshop is Tuesday. Well, for me, it shows 5 o'clock Central. So you're Central. So Tuesday at 5 o'clock. And Dixie, I don't speak UTC. There you go. Add one for Eastern.
UTC is the time zone in Science Space. So it's at the top of your screen.
Yes, I get that, Dixie. But remember, I don't keep ScienceSpace open 24/7. I have a calendar that is in Central. So when I first started coming to these events regularly, true story, I just about had a brain spasm trying to convert UTC to real time before and after daylight savings time and getting it all straight. And especially when the UTC time is tomorrow, not today, or it looks like it's tomorrow, but it's really today. It's like, ow. Now I know you're totally used to it because that's what you're used to. I get it. No problem there.
So maybe we should just have the entire planet use the same time. Well, we'll just all switch to UTC. We'll just use UTC, and to just know that
They
you go
tr-
to bed. You go
they
to
tried
bed
that.
at.
They tried that. The history of time zones came when railroads became mainstream. If you ever read up on it, it was the necessity of having predictable railroad train schedules, starting in the UK, Julie, that drove the invention of time zones and keeping track of that. And the whole daylight thing came later, so I won't even go there because some people have a hot button about it. But
Hmm.
high noon was not the same in Gunsmoke land as high noon in New York City land, and they couldn't say the train will be there at noon anymore.
Yeah. Well, UTC seems like it would be easier than having a specific time zone for events, because UTC, like I can, Pacific time is UTC -8, so it's easy enough.
Until it's -7.
Oh yeah, daylight savings time, but yeah, that's a different issue. But they're talking about solving. Of course, now they're talking about. So Europe, I think, was talking about eliminating daylight savings time and just going to the standard time. Here in Washington State, they're talking about switching over to daylight savings time permanently. So then we would just always be UTC -7. Uh,
Either one would work. I think I know the original rationale that I was told growing up was so us poor kids who walked to school didn't have to walk in the dark or walk home in the dark. It was one or the other. But nowadays, I was going to say most kids are driven to school, but that's not true because where I live, a lot of the kids ride their bikes back and forth, so as well as walk. If it's close enough, they walk. If it's medium, they'll ride a
Peter,
bike. And if they're high school, they will drive.
where I live, the child has to be over 4 miles away from the school. So most all the kids that live in the city's real small. The kids that live in the city walk to school or ride their bikes, and the kids outside the city are bused in. But yeah, 4 miles. I can't believe it. And yes, I had to walk to and from school every day because I was 2.9 miles away from the school. Ugh, it was rough. And I played tuba.
oh no.
I had to carry that tuba plus my books.
I had to walk half a mile one way to the bus stop, and then ride the bus for like 45 minutes to school.
And of course, me being a girl, my mommy was like, don't take rides from strangers. And I'm like, but you don't have to walk all that way with a tuba.
There's a lot of fun stuff associated with instruments. I'm sure you're all interested in that, but the 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 trouble with being a tuba player is you get to play offbeat notes like oompa pa, which I have heard tuba players play things on YouTube like Flight of the Bumblebee and all that, but most music is not written that allows them to do that. So I think a lot of tuba players have a lot of pent up energy for full self expression. Well, at least a glockenspiel is portable.
Mine was about 95 pounds and made of pure steel. Not real portable.
Your glockenspiel was 95 pounds?
Yeah, it was a full keyboard, 88 keys, just like a piano.
I'm thinking, what's the one that marching band carries, where you bang on it with a mallet? Maybe I'm
That one
thinking.
is a glockenspiel, and it is
Okay.
usually 58 keys. It's about a half keyboard. Yeah. And it's about 75 pounds. Yes, I played that one too. Not very portable. Yeah, I was a band geek. I ended up making state band for Texas on every instrument that we had in our band hall because I was such a geek. I wanted to learn all of them. And I wanted to be a band director until my band director insisted that all the girls sit on his lap and was just totally gross. So then I dropped out of band. I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. Yo, you perv. Nope.
Okay, this is a strange. Well, this is a marching glockenspiel that says sousaphone. Oh, there it is. Mardi Gras. But I swear, I remember in our marching band having them holding it up kind of vertically, not horizontally like she is. Oh, see, it has hooks. I think you can hook it over a shoulder strap and just wear it in the front, and I guess
Yeah,
you play it backwards. But I
but
wouldn't
when
think
you're
that was
not playing,
75 pounds.
no, no, that one looks like it's about 28 keys. Mine was probably twice as long as that, and solid metal. And yeah, it was heavy. And yeah, you put it on a little harness on your front, and it lays horizontal. Yeah, that one's a little one. And the sousaphone that I guess that they're talking about is the tuba in the back, because that's a sousaphone. Sousaphone is like an curly Q tuba.
Yeah, they
I
made
had a
it
regular
to
concert tuba. I had a regular concert tuba that I would hold on my shoulder, and the mouthpiece came out and around to where my mouth was. But yeah, that thing was heavy. Yep, I was in jazz band. Heck yeah. I played keyboards and drums in my jazz band. Me and the other percussionist, we would swap over.
Oh, yeah. As a trumpet player.
I played trumpet too. I still have my trumpet.
Yeah, me too.
It's
It's
fun
under the bed.
to play.
It's amazing that I can
No,
pull
let's.
that thing out and still play it. Like I
Oh
don't have to
yeah,
relearn it or anything. It's stuck in my brain.
like riding a bike, man.
Yeah.
You never forget. You might forget how to read music, but you never forget how to play.
Yep.
My music room here right now has a fiddle, a drum kit, a banjo, electric guitar, an acoustic guitar, a 12-string guitar acoustic, uh, uh, two, three keyboards, and what else is in there? Oh yeah, my trumpet. I got a trombone in there. I could make a jazz band right here. I just don't have anybody to play with anymore. Everybody grew up and moved away.
Yep.
That's kind of cool. So now, Dixie, we add music geek to your geek categories, and Karsten as well is a music geek.
I used to be a big time music geek. I've got a baby grand in the dining room. I need to figure out where to put it. I pretty much just play piano now for my own enjoyment.
Well, you should put it in the dining room.
Yeah, I've got it in the dining room now because there's just no place else to put it. I've got a big 5-bedroom and I just can't find any room anywhere. It's terrible.
So the Space Rocks arcade game that I built is upstairs here.
Yeah.
One of the updates that I want to do to it is add some game music and stuff, and I've got this chiptune music creator that I've been working with. I actually thought of you, Sidearm, because I know you create the digital music and stuff as well. But I gotta kind of get in this creative mode with the music and try and make some cool sounding soundtracks for the Space Rocks that sounds a little old and arcadey. This should be fun.
Oh, that'd be fun. I was actually almost to the point this morning of laying Space Rock in the new guides region. I'm setting up a region just for guides to go and leave messages for each other, relax, whatever,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they'll actually use it, but it's just something for them.
If you check
So
out
Karsten,
on the preview server, if you check out Localhost on the preview server, I've got Space Rock set up there with the updates for being networked so that other people can
Ooh.
see what you're playing. But there might still be one or two little glitches in it. But at some point here, if I ever get a free moment, I want to update a couple of little things on it and then push it to live so I can get some people to test it for me.
Well, I will be happy to for you because I love it. Love it.
I'm curious if you get lots of people in the same region playing it, multiple machines, if it'll, how the network will handle it. I'm hoping that it's not going to flood the network with too many messages.
I'm pasting a link for you there, Karsten. The second link. If you look at that, there is a fellow YouTuber that on YouTube that specializes in video game music, and you might like to look at his, if you know those games, or if Dixie, if you know those games, Zelda, Mario, Final Fantasy, Hollow Knight, and then he has one of those playlists is looking at how the music is put together, and some of the simpler videos I found really helpful.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that'd be helpful. Add that to my favorites to check out. Thanks. I need to create an animation. I'm going to upgrade the cabinet a little bit to raise up the buttons and different things like that, and then make an animation where it looks like the person's sitting there button mashing, stuff like that. Actually, I wonder if you could make the animation actually hit the keys that you're hitting in real time. That would be cool.
Ooh, that'd be hard, but I bet you could probably figure it out.
Well, actually, because of the networking that I've sent, that I put in there for syncing up the different viewers, it'd actually be really easy to tie that to animation because the code, the signals are already there for the network. So
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, that's a good idea. We got to do that.
Gosh, I've got to come up with an idea for a tutorial for this week for office hours. I have no idea what I'm going to do at the moment. It's like there's so many things that I could do, but without visual aids, it makes no sense whatsoever. So I got to figure out something to do that doesn't need visual aids because we don't have that ability at the moment in that region.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I gotta go as well, guys. It's been good.
See
Yeah, thanks for coming.
And I'll see you when you come back from your wedding and everything and start this again.
Yeah.
Cool. See you later, guys.
Woohoo. Later.
Have a good one. Yeah, today we're gonna go get some paint for the exterior of the house, and
Woohoo, painting.
yeah, it is exciting though. Finally, get rid of this god awful color that's on here and make it look nice.
Make it look new again.
Yeah, Dixie, you're gonna love the guest room that we've got set up. Artemis has
Oh,
done
yeah?
such an awesome job on it, making it this medieval guest room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we we have a TV in there though, but we're calling it the magic box.
That's cool.
We gotta figure out, maybe we can put some wood, like a wood frame around it or something, and make it look rustic or something. But, yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Can't wait to have some guests that stay in it, see what they think.
Oh.
Hey, Rob, welcome.
Hey, Carson, I just went. Are you late, Rob? Of course you're late. You're like an hour and a half late. There's one thing I would recommend you watch. Just watch that one by that 8-bit music theory guy, because he kind of plays iconic opening ta-das in game music, and that might give you. You just need a short iconic ta-da, probably. So see if that helps. That one video.
Cool.
And with that, I've got to go too. I really enjoyed today's event. I like this informal stuff, talking to you, Dixie, and Karsten, and Rob, and Shulane, and the others. So see you soon. Bye.
Thanks for coming, Simon. Take care.
See you around.
Wow, he's jamming over there. But I guess I should get off my booty and go do something. I've got a reason to. Not my